Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Hendrickson. Today for math, we're going to continue talking about data and graphs. We're going to look at the line plot and pictographs. The first thing we're going to do is review median, mean, mode, and range. We're going to look at a line plot and we're going to read the title of the graph or the plot. We're going to look at all the information it's provided, and then we're going to use that information to find the median, mean, mode, and range. So it says that this line plot, get my pen to work, that this line plot is about nature club shells collected, and the X's indicate the number of shells collected. So we're going to start there. It says, what is the median number of shells collected? So when we have data in a line plot, the first thing we're going to want to do is create our data. We're going to put it in order. So for every X, we're going to put one of those numbers. So there's a 1 4 times. So we're going to have 4 ones in our data. We have 1 2. We have 2 3s as indicated in our data. We have 3 4s and we have 3 5s. So that is our data list. So to find the median, we're going to go back and forth and cross off a piece of data and work our way to the middle. Median is our middle score. So as we can see, when we get to the middle of our data, we have a 3. So that's our median. What is the mode? Well, I always think of mode as like most often. The data we have the most of, or the most often piece of information or data. So you could say, what do we have the most of? So we have the most of ones. We have 4 ones. So that's what we have the most of. What is the range? Well, the range is going to be our maximum piece of data, which is 5, minus our minimum piece of data, which is 1. So our range is a range of 4. And then how many shells were collected in all? Well, we have to add all of our data. So we have 5, 10, 15. So we have 3 5s, which is 15. We have 3 4s, which is 12. We can add those together and we have 27. Then we have 2 3s, which is 6. We have a 2 and 4 1s, which is also 6. So that's 12. And so we can add 27 plus 12 together and get 39. So we have 39 shells all together. And then it says, what is the mean or the average? Well, to find the mean or the average, you add all your shells together, which we did, which was 39, and then you divide it by how many pieces of data we have. So we have to count our pieces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of data. So we're going to take 39 and divide it by 13, and we get 3. So the average person collected 3 shells. Okay, so that is how to find the median, mean, and mode and range from a line plot. The biggest key, like I said, is to write out your data like that. Okay, our next item we're going to talk about is a pictograph. So a pictograph uses pictures instead of like X's for the data. And again, the most important thing is to read what the graph says and what does each picture represent. In this case, our cookies represent 5 boxes. So we're going to take the information we were given and create a pictograph using a picture of cookies, because this is for Girl Scouts who sold cookies for 1 month. All right, so we're going to take our data and make our pictograph. Isabella sold 40 boxes. Well, each cookie picture is worth 5 boxes. So 5 times 8 is 40. So I need to make 40 cookies for my pictograph. And you could put little little dots in them if you want. Okay. Emma sold 15 boxes. So 5 times 3 is 15. So we need 3 boxes for Emma. Sam sold 35. 5 times 7 is 35. So we need 7 pictographs or cookies. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then Grace sold 50 boxes. So 5 times 10 is 50. So we have to draw 10 cookies. Okay, then you can use that information to answer your questions. Okay, so how many boxes of cookies did they sell in all? Well, basically, you can just skip count by 5 and figure that out. But I would just say we have 50 plus 35, so that's 85. Up here we have 40 and 15, so that's 55. So I'm going to add 85 plus 55 and get 140. Okay. Next question. How many more boxes? More means we're going to subtract. Did Isabella sell than Emma? So 40 minus 15 is 25 boxes. Or you could just cross it off up here if you look at it. So you could take off 3 because Emma sold 3. And what's left? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Which 2 girls sold a total of 75 boxes of cookies? So I have to look at the cookies they sold. What 2 groups would equal 75? Well, 40 plus 35 is 75. So it is Isabella and Sam. Isabella and Sam. Okay. And half of the cookies sold by Grace were Thin Mints. How many boxes of Thin Mints did Grace sell? So first of all, I have to look at Grace. I want to split her 10 into halves. So that would be 5, would be half of 10. And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 5 times 5 is 25. So she sold 25 boxes of Thin Mints, which are one of my favorite types of Girl Scout cookies. Okay, so for your homework today, and I'm going to solve a couple of the problems with you, I want you to look at this fraction line plot. This is going to be part of your homework today. And it's saying that Miranda had a set of 10 identical candles. She put them around her house and burned them for different amounts of time. Now, all of the candles are different heights. She measured the height of each candle to the nearest 1/8 inch. Here's her data. So if we're looking at a whole inch, it would be divided into 1/8 pieces, right? Because she measured to the closest 1/8 of an inch. So one whole would be 8/8 of an inch, or 4/4, or 2/2, depending on the denominator. Okay, so we have to look at her data, and we have to put her data on the line plot below. I'm going to do a couple for you. So let's start with 6.5 right here. So we're going to put 6.5. We're going to find it right here, and we're going to put 1x. One of her candles measured 6.5 inches tall. And then let's do another one. Let's do this one over here, 8.5. So we go over here to 8.5, and we put an x. Then you're going to take all that data, and you're going to create your data, your plot line or your data line. Remember how I showed you in the video earlier, where I would take, if I had, let's say I had, just for example, 3 6.5s. When I put these in order from smallest to tallest, I would put 3 6.5s in my data list. Okay? You're going to be adding and subtracting candles, and remember, they're a mixed number, so you're going to have to change the denominators to make sure the denominators are the same. All right, so let's just pick, for practice, let's pick 2 of the candles, and let's do some subtraction just to remember how to do that. So I'm going to pick 7.5 candle, and let's say we're subtracting 6 3/4 candle, okay, to see how much taller this one is. So they have different denominators, so I have to change them. Well, a 2 can become a 4, so I'm going to change that. So 2 times 2 is 4, so 1 times 2 is 2. So 7 2/4 minus 6 3/4. We still have a problem. 3/4 down here is bigger than my 2/4, so I'm going to have to borrow. So I'm going to borrow 1 whole from my 7, and I'm going to make it a 6. And that 1 whole I borrowed was 4/4 because my denominator is a 4. So I'm going to add those together. So now I have 6 6/4 minus 6 3/4. So 6 minus 6 is 0. 6/4 minus 3/4 is 3/4. So what would the difference be? 3/4 of an inch. Okay? All right. The last thing we're going to look at is your fishing pictograph that you're going to do for the second part of your homework. 5 children went fishing. The pictograph shows how many fish they caught, but this is what's really important. Each picture of a fish actually is 6 fish. So Michael did not catch 3 fish. He caught 6, 12, 18 fish. So that's really important on a pictograph to always see what the picture represents. Then you're going to use that information to answer the questions below, and we just talked about that. Michael caught 18 fish. Okay, so that's your homework for today. Watch the videos. I put some extra videos about pictographs and line plots on the assignment if you need some extra